Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Our show here today, Rutherford Issues from WGNS, is made possible by our friends at Middle Tennessee Electric. You know, United Communications, that's their internet company. Well, they provide fast, reliable, 99.99% reliable fiber internet services. You can find out more at mte.com. Brent Carter joins us. Just as reliable, Rutherford County Emergency Medical Services.
We're going to do that other little percentage in there, and we'll go 100.
You'll go 100%? There you go.
We'll go 100. That we're going to show up and give you medical attention.
There you go. Love it. Love it.
You just got to know them three numbers, to call us if you want one.
Well, I did the one thing that I knew that I wasn't probably supposed to do. Is I was just telling you about my little heart issue, and my friend John had it, who's on the radio, and he had it a week before me, and he called an ambulance. They came out, transported him, all that kind of thing. I decided to drive myself, which was dumb.
It happens.
But it happens.
It's a guy thing.
I think it is.
It is. Yeah.
I really went in after experiencing like 5 minutes of pain thinking, they're going to think I'm a dope. I'm going to go in. There's going to be nothing wrong. My EKG was fine and all of that. And the first blood test was fine. I said, well, let's wait 4 hours and we'll do it again. And that's when it came back. Yeah, we need to do further testing. So, but I mean, for about 4 or 5 hours, I thought I'm just wasting my time.
Yeah.
The time of the ER. But,
it's better to get checked out.
I guess.
And have it happen again and get worse.
Yeah.
Cheap insurance.
True.
Kind of.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to meet my deductible this year. I got my bill, $186,000.
Yeah. They're not
so thank
cheap.
Goodness for insurance.
They're not cheap.
Yeah.
But that's why we have insurance,
But to have the level of care that we do, especially for that now, I mean, a lot of people don't realize if you grew up here in Rutherford County, if you had any type of heart thing,
you're going
5 years ago, 10 years, we're going to Nashville for sure.
We're going to Nashville.
But not anymore.
Well, and not anymore because of the hospitals that we have, in Rutherford County.
Yeah.
And what our new medical directors are letting us do in the back of a truck. Mm-hmm. So we can get a lot of that started before we ever get to the hospital now.
Okay.
And that's changed a bunch even since I've been off the trucks.
So is it medication? What would you start?
It's a little bit of everything. It's therapy. We got these new monitors that are on these trucks that I think they can read your palm. They're that accurate on a lot of things. And then, we can also send the EKG strips to the hospitals, and their docs are looking at them, making their calls on them before we ever get there. Mm-hmm. They're knowing what we're seeing, other than the patient. They don't really see the patient, but they can see what the monitor's showing and what their EKG looks like, and
come up with some type of treatment on the way, really.
Before we ever get there. You're either going straight to cath lab, or we're going to sit and we're going to do some more assessing, or, they're making that call before we ever get there.
It's pretty cool how quickly the information is gathered, especially in this, because time is of the essence when you're talking about heart, right?
Yeah. And that's a muscle that doesn't rejuvenate itself.
Yeah.
So if it's starving for air or blood, which the blood's going to, if it's not flowing, it's not getting oxygen. So,
which is what causes a heart attack,
what usually
right?
causes it. Yeah, you get a blockage, and then the heart freaks out because that little vessel's blocked, and whatever's below it, is not getting any oxygen. So then the heart just kind of sits there and freaks out. Hey, I can't breathe, just like you would if you couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
You kind of get that panic mode, and that's the heart does the same thing.
I learned a lot about all of this stuff. If there's no damage to the heart muscle, it's not really a heart attack. You've experienced angina, which that's an old term. I mean, that goes back a long ways.
Yeah.
So that's I experienced about 5 minutes of that. But anyway, it's been an interesting month of June.
I mean, you're a good advocate for us if you have these symptoms.
Yeah.
Either call an ambulance.
Yeah.
So,
and
get checked out.
And if you've got the doctor told me, he said, with your,
family history,
ancestry and family history, this is something that you probably in your mid to late 20s should have been, looking at.
Yeah.
Well, that long ago, we really didn't have the technology to do what we do today.
Mid-20s, we're 18, 20 years old and bulletproof too.
Well,
so,
yeah.
We're not really looking at it.
But, that's one of those things that you can't change that no matter what you do.
No.
And I think it's a bigger part than maybe even we realize. Your genetics play a huge part.
Genetics play a big part in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Diabetes and high blood pressure, heart disease, it plays a big part in a lot of it.
And the testing is fairly easy now when they do that heart CT and all. So, I mean, you just need to keep on top of that, especially if you have a family history.
That's it in a nutshell.
My daughter-in-law,
with this nice cool weather that we're having and, out there, that's going to spark a little bit of it too. My
daughter-in-law's father has this heart condition that's only has 2 aortic valves, and you're supposed to have 3, I think, or something like that. Whatever the case is, it's one of those things that is passed down from generation to generation, and so, it's amazing what you can find out and what your genetics, what you have in your body that you may not even know. So,
even if you didn't know your history,
right,
or your ancestors,
right,
yeah.
So definitely something to keep ahead on. And
medicine's come a long, long ways. Like you and I were talking, what we can do on an ambulance now, before we get to the hospital, has helped a lot.
I was so amazed at my friend John's recovery from the open heart.
Yeah.
I remember my dad's 2 biggest complaints when he had his 25 years ago was the feeling of that rib cage moving, because at that point they just wired things together.
Yeah.
Well, now they put a titanium plate to hold it together when they're doing the surgery, so you don't have that discomfort.
Yep.
And he had a scar on the back of his leg from his ankle all the way up to his hip where they harvested the vein.
Yep.
Well, John has these little 2-3 inch incisions, so he didn't have that pain to deal with.
Still hide it in shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's even with that surgery and how invasive that is. I mean, it's come a long way. They went in my wrist. They didn't go in anywhere else.
From what I hear, they're fixing shoulders. With just a little hole.
Yeah.
So
cameras
and.
Was even talking with one of the doctors. There are certain, depending on where it is, they can do quote unquote open heart with just going in arthroscopically through the side now, even without having to go through the chest bone. So I don't know. It's crazy, but we've got great health care here. But it starts on those front lines with those EMS workers who show up.
Well, it starts with a phone call.
Well,
first.
That's true.
Let's back up a little bit. It starts with, if something's not right, call.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. If you're not feeling normal, we'll call it normal. Because when we show up, I don't know what your normal is.
Sure.
Only you can know what your normal is. But that's what starts it.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling normal, and you think something's up, just give us a call.
What is the reason that people...
You don't have to go because we show up at your house. You're not going to get charged if we show up at your house.
Yeah.
So at least...
I think that's the fear, isn't it?
That's the fear, is everybody's going to get charged. Yeah, but you're not going to get charged if we show up at your house. So we're just there to help you. If you think something's out of the norm, let's help you, calm you down, and let's figure it out together. That's the biggest thing. Whether you go with us or not, that's your choice still. And what hospital you want to go to pretty much is your choice. Mm-hmm. So, the biggest thing is if it's not normal, get out there and let these guys on these trucks and these gals, they're sharp. We got some really super good paramedics out there right now, and well, we've had them for a while.
Right.
And so, let them help you feel more comfortable or back to normal. And then they'll recommend whether you go or don't go. And you still don't have to go with us.
Sure.
You can still be like you and just drive yourself. I've had that happen a lot when I was on trucks.
I didn't. I in hindsight, I should have, but I felt better. I didn't have any symptoms anymore. I felt fine.
So,
and I had to sit there to think, okay, do I go in? Do I just go back to sleep? And those are things that other people go through, I'm sure, as well. But, yeah. It's nuts. But this time of the year, I think about, I was just talking to someone about the 4th of July celebration that's going to take place here in town. And, we're going to do that in the Gateway, and there are going to be thousands of people out, but the heat index is going to be 110. But we've got police officers, we have medics that are out in these events that are suffering through the same heat that maybe causes you an issue,
I mean, it does.
But you're out there.
Yeah. People don't understand this heat and humidity. It's kind of like the cold, but opposite. The heat and the humidity, if you're out in it from early morning on through it, you got a little bit better chance. But if you're in and out of an air conditioner, it's going to hit you pretty good. You get more tired at night. How much fluids have you been drinking prior to getting out and all that heat? Staying in the shade as much as you can. I mean, there's a lot to it. And if you got medical problems, it's going to play its toll on that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our EMS guys and gals who are out there, who are running these long shifts and going out in this heat. I mean, it's at 10 o'clock last night, it was still 90 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's just kind of no relief from this.
Humidity is thick. Yeah. You can cut it with a knife.
Yeah. Air you can wear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, and that helped. That hurts a lot of people, with breathing problems. Yeah. Also. So and not just heart.
Those uniforms are not necessarily the coolest in the world, are they?
They're not. I mean, Brian changed it a while back ago that we could wear T-shirts. They still have to have a logo, about the same as what I'm wearing here in a collared shirt, but on our T-shirt. So it's a little bit cooler. I mean, 10 years ago, I was wearing long sleeve shirts, button ups. Yeah. That was what we needed. That was our uniform. So he's working together to keep everybody happy and try to keep them hydrated and all that. So we can do our job to help you.
Right. But you still have a lot of stuff. And then
you got a lot of stuff.
Pulling a gurney in and all this kind of stuff, stretcher.
Lifting people, in cars on the interstate. That interstate's hot.
Oh, gosh.
And
how much hotter is it on the interstate?
It's a whole lot harder. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just feel it through your feet, like your soles of your shoes are going to melt off. It can get that hot out there on the interstate, on the tarmac. When they do that event up there in Smyrna, the Blue Angels and all that come in, that tarmac, it's a concrete slab, concrete and asphalt.
It just absorbs the heat.
Yeah, where the dirt will help kind of absorb it in the grass, but concrete and asphalt. Plus, you got all them cars driving by. You got the heat from the motors. It gets hot. So
our air temperatures for Rutherford County are taken in Murfreesboro and in Smyrna at the airports. Yeah. And so in the shade. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe I have no idea exactly where they are, but the point about that is you can look at a heat map really. And you can see most of Davidson County and into Rutherford County, and especially down I-24 and around those high population areas where there's a lot of concrete, a lot of building and stuff. You're going to get another couple of degrees because of the heat island effect. Yep. So be like in a crowd. I mean, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 like what we are right now, we're good. But you get 10, 12, 15 people next to you, all that body heat's going to radiate right off of you too. The heat is one thing, but to add the humidity on top of that and the feels like, that's what really zaps you. Oh, yeah. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. I mean, 120 degrees, 118.
not hardly any humidity. You know, you don't feel it. You feel the heat.
It's hot.
It's hot. You know, it's like sticking your head in the oven, you know, when you walk out the door. But here, you walk out the door, you're feeling the heat and you're sweating before you get to your car.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, and that's why AC units have a hard time keeping up too, is the humidity. That's the biggest
They can't
culprit.
get rid of it fast enough. They can't get it out. You know, dehumidifiers help, you know, but that's why our electric bills are so cheap during this time of year.
That's the truth. Brent Carter with us with Rutherford County Emergency Medical Services. Do calls go up when the heat's this bad?
Man, our call volume's up.
It's just up anyway.
We're growing so big right now. You know, Rutherford County's it's not slowing down. So the call volume's going up. I mean, 125 to 150 calls in a 24-hour period, 911 calls. Still running 18 trucks. You know, it goes up and down. But yeah, the weather does play a lot into it. But then again, too, you've got boats, you've got four-wheelers out there, you've got everybody wanting to go ride and play in the water and go swimming, and so it kind of changes.
We're doing things that are a little more dangerous,
exactly.
But also things that we don't do all the time, maybe not as experienced.
That 18 to 28, 30, you know, hey man, watch this kind of stuff. Yeah. That comes into play this time of year.
Also, you have big events. I mean, you've got Friday Night Live. You're going to have thousands of people all bottled together on the square on Friday. On Saturday, you've got the fireworks. But not only that, that's just in Murfreesboro. You've got Smyrna. Theirs is tomorrow night. Laverne has theirs. I mean, you're covering the whole county. So
plus, you got all the parties.
Right.
You know, the private parties
that
are going on.
Fireworks also. People shooting fireworks.
Yep.
I guess that will...
hey, that didn't go off. You know, I'm going to look down it. Accidents happen. But
I'm sure every year there are fireworks accidents.
All kinds of, there's some burns and, you know, it happens.
You're holding a mini explosive, by the way. When
you're holding a bomb. I mean, that's just it. You know, pay attention. You know,
gotta be
careful.
Back
off that one cooler and get on the water cooler. You know, when the fireworks come out.
If you had 2 or 3 things to remind people of if they're going out, and you know that's what this time of the year is all about, and there are maybe a few more activities you can do because of the 250th this year and all, but with it being so hot, what are some things that we need to
plan ahead is the biggest thing. Plan ahead. You know, get hydrated, and if you think you're thirsty, drink some more. You know, if your shirt's wet, you're losing it just as fast. If you're using the restroom a lot, you're losing it just as fast. So whatever goes out through sweat, through whatever, using the restroom, try to put it back in. You get done, put it back in. Just that's the big thing is plan ahead.
I heard somebody say
clothing.
You know, drink more than you think you need.
Yeah, that's it.
Because people don't drink.
They don't.
Enough,
they don't drink enough, but they're sweating.
Yeah.
And the humidity, it adds to it. Wear loose clothing. You know, make it a little comfortable. So if it does sweat, we get a little bit of a breeze. Even though if it's a hot breeze, it's going to help kind of air condition you kind of through that loose clothing.
Light color too. The darker the color, the more it seems like it absorbs heat.
It's going to hold more. That's like our uniforms.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yeah, like our uniforms. But yeah, light clothing, loose clothing, hydrate, and you know, if you start to feel like you're hot, try to find some shade. At least find some shade. Get out of it. You don't have to go out of the heat. Just find a little shade. Take a little bit, drop it a degree or two. Temperature wise, but the biggest thing is and you know that one cooler that we were talking about a month ago, you know, back off on it a little bit because it affects your heat too.
So
what your body can handle.
Doesn't alcohol kind of have a diuretic or whatever
it kind of dilates your blood vessels, so you're not if you don't have the water in there, I mean, it can play effect with it, but the hydration and the heat and it just, there's multiple factors of what can cause
can kind of accelerate dehydration, can it? Yeah. So be careful with all that. Well, a lot of things to think about during this 4th of July. It's here upon us.
It's here.
We'll be talking about school starting back here and football and all that kind of stuff.
They still haven't got 99 done, and I hear they're going to start tearing up
just
Thompson Lane.
Yeah.
So,
got to close down veterans
it'll be
here.
Really good, for school year start.
Yeah, boy, going to be great.
Yeah, that's good.
Brent Carter with us today with Rutherford County EMS.